What's good, everybody? I'm back with another breakdown today, and the man I'm talking about today is none other than Trey Lance of North Dakota State. When I talk about Trey Lance, he's one of my favorite players in this draft because I believe he has incredible upside. And, he looks like some guys we've seen before, but he has a little bit of a wrinkle. He has the size of a Cam Newton, Josh Allen, but he's faster than those guys. No, he's not Lamar Jackson. In fact, you see a small school quarterback with a big arm and a plus athlete. You have to compare him to Josh Allen, right, in recent history. Well, Trey Lance brings a lot of similarities as Josh Allen, but I do think he's a better deep ball thrower than Josh Allen was coming out of college. No, he doesn't have the arm strength, but not many people in the world do have the arm strength of Josh Allen, and I do think he's a better runner than Josh Allen. Yeah, he's a little bit more of a willing runner, but, same kind of style, just a little bit better, a little faster, a little stronger. Right here, we're going to see Lance put that to the test, hits his guy in stride, doesn't slow him down, and lets him pick up the touchdown. Those are things that you like to see. This play right here in particular is what makes me really love the upside with Trey Lance. Yeah, he's a scrambling quarterback, but he still keeps his eyes down the field. So look right here. Everybody's manned up. Everybody's tight coverage. He has a chance to run right here. Keeps his eyes down the field. Okay, he observes everyone's still smothered. He's going to break the pocket again. He has room to run, but he still throws it down the field. Now, yeah, that guy's wide open. Don't get me wrong. Easy throw. But it's the idea of what he did there, what he showed of he can be something more than just a Lamar Jackson. The number one thing you worry about with a running quarterback is injury. This dude's tough as nails. Look at this. That is a quarterback moving the pile. The dude's tough. I don't worry about injury in the NFL, which is a good thing, for his kind of style of play. Right here, break in the pocket, people recovered. And this is going to help him early into his NFL career when he's having trouble reading the defense, is when he gets into trouble in general. It's just going to be a nice, ace up your sleeve. Right here, man, this is a good ball. This is Russell Wilson-like, man. That's a rainbow shot. That guy's pretty tightly covered. He's going to drop it right in the bucket. And like I said, is he perfect as far as throwing the ball? No, he's definitely not. But I think he's showing a lot of ability to develop. This next play we have right here, this is just another one of those plays where it shows he's big time. That is a free rusher coming at him in his face, and he's going to stand in the pocket, and he's going to throw a really good ball. Not perfect, but again, it shows the ability of a young quarterback who has his kind of athleticism. He's usually going to just tuck it and run, but it's just the little tiny things because you see that he can do exactly that. So that's what you expect him to do all the time. Just another great show of his running ability. Not only he's just strong at breaking tackles, but he just outran everybody on that field. The dude can flat fly. I would love to see his combine numbers when they're going to come out here soon. Beautiful play design here. He's going to roll naked to the right and throw back across his body down the field to the left. And then right here, check this out. So he runs a little bit of an RPO. Do you see how much that safety ran up? And it makes those easy throws that, seem like, oh, he's playing low competition, which we'll get into in a second. But he kind of creates that on his own from what he can do. Really good ball there between two guys. Right here, back against the goal line. I mean, just talking about breathing room. I mean, not just picking up 5, 6, 7 yards, but you're talking about now he's taking it up to midfield. Those are the huge things that he brings to the table. One last time, I want to point out his willingness as a thrower. Right here, he's got a clean, wide open running lane and man coverage that he's going to cook them with. But instead, he looks to throw the ball down the field. Again, not a great ball, but it's the idea that he wants to be a great quarterback, not just a great running back. It's a perfect ball in that back corner. But to kind of talk a little bit about the low competition, you can say the same thing about Zach Wilson, right? And when I did the Zach Wilson breakdown, I talked about those similar things of when you're playing against a low, set of competition, and you try to compare him to a Justin Fields or a Trevor Lawrence. It's definitely difficult. But the thing that you want to see when he's playing against a low level of competition is you want to see dominance, and I think Trey Lance shows exactly that. Speaking of dominance, look at this. This is going to be a 55-yard throw right on the money. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Drops it right in the bucket, right to his guy, and that speaks to the dominance that he shows and the ability with the upside that he has. This might be the most ridiculous play that Trey Lance has on his film. I don't know how his knee doesn't touch the ground there. I mean, this looked like it was going to break both of his legs. The dude is just strong. Look at this. Hits the guy, takes the hit, and doesn't just roll over. He's still hungry for that end zone. Right here, breaks the arm tackle, keeps his eyes down the field. I mean, that's an easy pitch and catch, but that's a hard sack to break, and my guy makes it look easy. Another thing that I think is going to serve him well early into his NFL career is he threw exactly one interception his entire college career. He only started 1 year, and then this year he played one game because of COVID. But it was the idea that, he broke a college football record in an area that a lot of young quarterbacks struggle with. So with his elite ability at running the ball, with his elite ability of protecting the ball, I think that makes him, have a window to play immediately into the NFL. Now, you would like to sit him for a year so he can develop as a quarterback, but it's nice when drafting a high-level quarterback to have the ability to play him immediately. This is a big-time throw. Look at this. Across his body to a tightly covered guy. And, I mean, that throw has to be exactly there or it's picked or incomplete. Right here, fakes the quarterback draw, throws to the back corner of the end zone. And I'd love to see him land with like a San Francisco 49ers. I doubt he's going to fall back there, but if they could trade up, I think him and Kyle Shanahan would be a dream pairing. And it could be maybe like a Patrick Mahomes kind of Andy Reid level connection. When watching these types of plays, man, he makes this look so easy. It's unbelievable. I think the comparison for Trey Lance is probably like a Cam Newton, Josh Allen mix. And I might come back to regret saying this, but I think he's the far superior athlete to those two. And I kind of think he's more developed at this stage of his career than either of those two were. And again, Cam Newton played at Auburn. Very, very tough comparison with North Dakota State's schedule. But it's just a feeling that I have right there. That ball could be better. Obviously, he's trying to avoid that high safety, but still not a perfect throw. Big run there, puts the guy in the spin cycle. I got to say, I'm pretty surprised that Trey Lance isn't getting more flack. For a guy that's only started 1 year at North Dakota State, I'm surprised that every mock draft and everything I hear has Trey Lance going as high as he is. I figured he would just be absolutely ripped apart for playing a cake schedule and being a raw quarterback, but it seems like everyone kind of sees what I'm kind of seeing, you know what I mean, as far as him being not only just a great athlete, but him being, maybe a little bit further along than some of those small quarterbacks. But hey, good for him. This play right here is another thing that Trey Lance brings to the table. Watch this outside backer at the top of your screen. They're in a package where we've seen North Dakota State run a lot of power runs. He's so worried about protecting that edge that this tight end just slips him, and he's in man coverage and lets his guy just walk into the end zone because he's so worried about Lance tucking that ball and running it in for 6. Easy pitch and catch. We're going to see a little bit of a play action, him take a shot down the field, which is something that I wish I saw a little bit more at college because that's something I think he's going to be asked a lot to do in the NFL. But right there, that's not good coverage, but that is a great ball that he threw. Right here, coming off the boot, outrunning one guy, stepping up through the pocket, hits his receiver in the back of the end zone, open. Right there again, holds the fake. That guy has a good angle, and that's going to work against 99% of quarterbacks, but he's a different level of an athlete. We've seen a few plays in this package of clips where he's faked the draw and thrown the fade. Right there, he kind of fakes the fade and runs the draw. So it's kind of the counterpunch that North Dakota has. Right here, going against his body, you look at this ball initially and you think it's a bad throw, right? Because it's behind the receiver. But he sees that DB right there on the edge, and he's actually saving his guy from taking a monstrous hit or even maybe potentially throwing the pick. So again, the ball doesn't look like it's great, but it actually kind of protected this guy from getting annihilated. Right here, steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes down the field. Easy play, but those plays speak volumes to me for the athlete that Trey Lance is. I'll wrap it up with this. Quarterbacks, we constantly miss on, right? There's about a 50% miss rate in the NFL when drafting quarterbacks. Trey Lance is no, sort of sure thing. Zach Wilson is in the same boat. The small quarterbacks are even harder than the big name quarterbacks. But with that being said, I do think this guy has a lot of the abilities to be something extremely special and kind of build on something we've seen. So he's not reinventing the wheel, but I think in a way he can almost perfect that wheel. So I cannot wait to see what Trey Lance does in the NFL, and I'm definitely going to be a fan of his, and I hope he lands with a good spot where maybe he can either sit half the season or sit a full season and just kind of learn the game a little bit and just kind of hone into his skills a little bit. If you guys like the episode, click like and subscribe. I appreciate your support, and I will see you guys next time.